growth does not happen in our comfort zones. That is something that I was reminded of over and over again this year. So as it's the end of the year, naturally we're all really reflecting on how the year went, what we did, what we didn't do, and what we want to do differently next year. And I really wanted to share with you 3 moments where I stepped out of my comfort zone this year. And I'm still a bit shook that I did these things, but I stepped out of my comfort zone and I got to really experience that growth. My first moment, right? My first moment was saying yes to a podcast invite by The Conversation Capital at the beginning of this year. The day that we had to shoot it, firstly we got the dates mixed up. So I got one date, but then the team was expecting me on a different date. So at that point they're like, hey, are you coming? I'm like, no, I'm not, because the date is different. But I ended up going anyway, even though I was feeling sick, literally sick as a dog that morning. Oh my gosh, I felt awful. I was so sick that morning. But I decided to show up anyway. And can I tell you, that one decision to show up and to genuinely be present in that conversation led to an episode that has gotten over 500,000 views on YouTube. It still blows my mind. When the episode came out and I saw 500 views, I was like, what? This is fantastic. 500 people are going to see this. Maybe it's going to help someone out of that 500. And for it to have gone way past that to over 500,000, it still blows my mind. So what I learned in that moment is that you don't have to feel 100% for you to give 100%. And that is something that has carried me throughout the year. Like, just give the best that you've got right now. You have no idea how many lives you could touch, how many perspectives you could change and impact. The second moment where I stepped out of my comfort zone this year was when I coached the biggest group that I have ever coached, ever. I took on so many people for this one cohort, and primarily it was because I wasn't able to disable the registration payment link, and people just kept registering, and I was struggling with refunding. So I was like, I've got to do it. I've got to take them on. I was nervous, I was excited, I was scared, but I decided to lean in. And I promise you, I was challenged, I was stretched, but I am all the better for it. I grew. The people in the cohort grew. I think it was probably the best cohort I've ever had. The people in the cohort grew. We all grew. And the transformation was palpable. Our last session, I feel like I was almost in tears because it felt like we had become this community. You know, I went in like full force with this. I couldn't drop the ball. It was such a big group of people. And I still had to make sure that everyone felt seen, everyone felt that they were getting the attention that they deserved. Because I don't want you to fall in the background. You're here because you need to be showing up, because you need to be visible. So, yeah, what a challenge. What a challenge. But we did it, we survived, and it was way better than I could have anticipated. And so, sometimes the things that we are most afraid of, I mean, I'm literally speaking for myself, but sometimes the things that we are most afraid of are the same things that really change us the most. And that was one of the moments for me this year. Now, the third moment where I stepped out of my comfort zone as a speaker and a coach this year was really offering a lot more one-on-one coaching, because I had previously really focused a lot on group coaching. So one-on-one coaching. one-on-one coaching is not a one-size-fits-all. You know, every client that I get, I rinse, I repeat my program. No, because different clients have different goals, different needs, everything becomes so customized for that client. So it's quite challenging to come up with ways in which we are going to reach this specific client's goals. I needed to have a fresh perspective, fresh ears, fresh eyes, fresh solutions for each client. And that really stretched me this year. But I find that I've become a better coach because of that, because I was stretched there. I had clients who had, completely different goals. And so to think of ways in which we could achieve those goals in a way that, this client will learn best, will be able to really apply themselves as best as possible, because you really want to get the best out of your clients, right? Oof, that was quite a challenge and very stretching, but I am all the better for it. Listen, my future clients now are that much more privileged because of the hard work I've just done with all my one-on-one clients this year. So it was a challenge, but very rewarding as well, to really branch out and put myself out there when it comes to one-on-one coaching, because I didn't really focus on that previously. But now, I love it. I love the challenge. When I get a new client, I'm like, okay, what are we going to do different? How are we going to get this client to really reach their goals and tackle their challenges? So what about you? I want to know in what ways have you really stepped out of your comfort zone in this year? What have you learned? How have you grown? And also just to encourage others, to encourage each other, because sometimes you're able to do something purely because you're seeing that it's possible with somebody else. So let me know in the comments if you have stepped out of your comfort zone this year, and if you have, what have you learned? What is one lesson that you have learned? And to leave you, I want you to know that growth happens when you move. You have to move. You have to take action. You have to do the thing that you are afraid of, the thing that is making you nervous, because that's how growth will happen. It never happens when you are standing still. So I'm very excited for you. If you are looking for growth in 2025, I'm excited for all the actions that you're going to put in place, for the steps that you're going to take, and for all the movements you are going to make. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of your comfort zone. Bye-bye.